Okay, today's job, I'm going to be replacing the manifold gasket. The process here is to first disconnect the battery. Now, the reason for that is that underneath the exhaust manifold here is a starter motor, which has got a live positive from the battery. And of course, you don't want to touch those two. So the first thing is to disconnect the battery. Secondly, there's 4 bolts that are securing the inlet, and 2 of them have to come out completely, but the other 2, which are the ones down the bottom here, they only need to be loosened as the entire unit will come up. And once I've got that out, then I've got access to the remaining bolts to pry away or move away the exhaust. Now, I'm not going to actually take the exhaust out. All you need to do is move it to one side. But anyway, I'll start with the process now of and step it through and get the gasket replaced. Okay, that's the first thing, is to disconnect the negative. Make sure it's right out of the way. And once we've done that, then we'll secure that there's not going to be a short. There's the gasket. And that's the manifold face, and that's the head face. Okay, I removed one clip, now I'm removing the other one. As I said, we need to take this off to give us the flexibility to move the inlet out. Okay, and now I've got a video that I've made some time ago about cleaning the intercooler and the pipes and so on. So as you can see there, it's still pretty clean. So obviously I'm not getting any oil seepage through the turbo. Right, so now that I've got that out of the way, it's time to remove the 2 inlet, the 4 inlet, well, the top 2 inlet bolts, and loosen the bottom 2. Okay, so using the 10mm, let's try to locate it under here, if I can show you where it is there. And I've actually sprayed lubrication on it last night to loosen it up. Oh, actually, I managed to do it without the extension, so see if you can see that. So there's the 10mm. As I said, they're a little bit on the tight side, and these are the ones that actually need to come out. So there it is there. Right. Just to give you a reference to where it is. It's in there. So that's one out. And now to try to squeeze my fingers in there. There we go. Quite there. Okay. So the other ones, as I said, are there. That one there. And those 2, that one and the same on the other side, only need to be loosened. Right, so now to get to the bottom 2 and loosen them up. And this one is a 13mm. see if I can do this. Okay. That'll probably be sufficient on here, but you can see where I've put the tool. And what I'm going to try to do is see if I can get underneath there somehow. So excuse the shaky camera work. Can we see where it's at? Oh yeah, there it is there, you can see. Right there. Oh, the joys of trying to open that. Here we go, I think I've got it. And you can see the, well, probably can't see it now, but the entire unit was moving. There you go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly lift that up. You can see underneath how it sits. Oh, there we go. And hence why the bottom bolts only need to be loosened, because you can see they're slotted there and it just pulls out inside. Yeah, that's pretty good. Happy with that. That oily stuff there is actually the oh, what is it? Yeah, it looks like a little bit of oil there. Although I did spray a hell of a lot of lubricant. Little bit of oil on the back there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up. Clean it up really well. Because you know what I'm like, a little bit OCD on this. So, next steps are for me to check this. Gasket's okay. And the gasket's okay there, and we're saying it was broken, and in fact this stud here was loose. You can see the entire studs coming out. So these the exhaust nuts are 15s, and in case you're wondering how to determine where they are located, well, obviously the best thing to do is to actually use the gasket itself. So I can tell that there's the 4 on the top, and there's 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3 on the bottom that I need to undo. Okay, so the next step will be to, as I said, to remove the nuts from the studs holding the exhaust. But to get to this one here, that one in there, you actually got to loosen up the dipstick. And to get to that, there's a right down here. You can probably see that. So it's just a matter of undoing that. You know, to give you that movement. All right, with the as you can see, the dipstick can now move out of the way slightly. And as I said, this one was already the loose one, which I think was the contributing factor for the gasket to blow in the first place. There we go. That was pretty loose, and I think the entire stud's coming out as well on that one. Yeah, what a shit. Anyway, that's how it goes. I wonder if I can do these with the that one as well. Oh, you've got one that's not coming out. There we go. And that one's tight. And the entire stud's coming out with that one as well. Anyway, I'll continue pulling these out, and once I've removed it, I'll continue on. So studs are out of the way, and actually the only one that stayed in place was this one. The other ones came out. What I've done is I've also supported that out of the way as well, so I've got clear passage here. So now it's a matter of just slowly prying that out. There's going to be a little bit of movement, but it's still going to be quite tight. I'm not planning on changing or undoing anything on the exhaust. So I just want to be able to give it a little bit more of a space there. And where's the gasket? Yeah, I've got a bit of still a bit of a persistent coolant leak from this hose as well. So in actual fact, the gasket itself hasn't split. Not that I can see anyway. And of course, we're going to have to take the nuts out down there in order to clear the gasket. So the next step is to clean the mating surfaces. So it kind of looks fairly healthy, given its age. Who knows how long it's been in there. But when you turn it around, you can start seeing where the damage is starting to occur. So it's probably just as well I'm going to change it anyway. So the old and the new. Just to quickly show you the condition of the mating surfaces before I start cleaning them up. And so the next step is to clean these studs up. And so what I've done is used two nuts, pressed them against each other to create tension so that I can start undoing that nut there. So then I can give them a good clean. So I gave it a good clean up, but just to give you an indication, the reason why I inspected the gasket, not just out of curiosity about the condition of it, but what you can do is you can also see where the previous gasket has left chunks of itself on the mating surface here. So that gives you an indication. I'm just running the finger through and you can feel the raised section there. And so I'll be doing the same for that bit here. And it looks all right on the back there. So just a little bit more maintenance, and once I've got it nice and clean, then I can start putting it back together. Oh, gently, gently. You can see the residue there. And I'm just going very, very gently here, so I'm minimising scratching of the surface. So as I mentioned, I was cleaning the surfaces of the head, but also the same applies to the exhaust. So making sure that any of the broken parts of the components of the gasket's removed. I've just scraped it now with the blade. I haven't yet finished cleaning it, but anyway, you get the idea. It's just a matter of making sure that, see, there's a little bit left there on the side, you can just see it, that I've still got to clean there. So once I've removed the nut off the stud, I've actually then put another nut in so I can lock them, and then I just screw that into position. Okay, so now I can just flick it and get rid of the nuts. So I've put back that stud, that one, and now I've got to put the other three in. The issue though is that I don't have enough play to put those studs in there. So I'm actually going to put the gasket in now, position the manifold back to its back home to its original position, and then I'll actually insert the studs and try it that way. But aside from that, it's as clean as it's going to get without me having to remove the entire exhaust, and happy with that anyway. Right, I just slotted the gasket in. Couldn't do that while filming because I needed both hands, but now what I'll do is, you see I've got some studs there missing down the bottom here. So what I'll do is I'm just going to position this back in, and again I'm probably going to need 2 hands for this. Oh, maybe not. There we go. There we go. All right, and I'll put the nuts into kind of secured in position, and then once I've got that, then I'll put the other studs in. Oh, need to move it around. Okay. Just make sure that that's going in hand tight first, obviously. Now getting all the bolts is relatively easy, but the one underneath here is a little trick. You actually need to go through the gap. Let's see if I can show you there. See that? So the nuts all the way in the back there. There is no room in here to do it, so that's the only place to do it here, is to screw that in from there. All the bolts have now been fitted, as you can see there. And next step now is to grab the inlet and give it a good hosing, a good clean up. Okay, so I got the old karcher out, and I'm not sure if you can see. There we go, and managed to give it a good clean up. Anyway, trust me, it's clean in there now. Another job done. Right, so the dipstick bolt is back on, and I've started adding these ones in here to in preparation to slide the manifold in. So everything else is nice and tight. There's the manifold, and effectively we should be able to slot that in just nicely. in like that. And just checking here, so yep, it's good. And got these original bolts here, so I just need to find the location. That's one, and so here, location, here you get. And that was a 10mm. Just putting my tools together. Right, I just anyway, you get the gist. I'm just tightening this up now, and once I've got it tightened by hand, I can just torque it off, top and bottom ones. So I'll just do that now so I've got both hands. Alright, just tightening up the bottom one. And again, we have the location there, a bit tricky to see. Not much room in here, but it's even hard for me to see using the camera as a... Anyway, I'll just continue. Inlet manifold now bolted on as it should be. And all nice and clean inside. Bolts are nice and tight. And all I've got left to do is just to put that back in. I'll give it a bit of a clean. And draw up the clips, and I think that's it. So anyway, I hope that's been of help to you, and as always, thanks for watching.